Hello, my name is Matthias, and welcome to the FPL Scope and the weekly wildcard draft for Game Week 8. We're almost done with the international break, and I'm certainly looking forward to FPL coming back again. And I'm here to show you what I think is the best team to have currently in Fantasy Premier League going forward in the next few game weeks. And as always, I'm going to rank the team from 1 through 15, all the 15 players who will be ranked in terms of how important they are to my squad, or how important they are to have currently in FPL, in my opinion, especially on a wildcard, which is what we're looking to do here in the weekly wildcard draft segment, basically. So yeah, I think we can just go straight into it, go to the number one pick, the player that I think is the most important player to have currently in Fantasy Premier League. And that is, as always, Erling Braut Haaland for Manchester City and Norway, which is where I'm from as well. He scored a hat-trick against Israel, and then he went back early, actually, after that game. Didn't play the game against New Zealand, which was today as I'm recording this on Tuesday night. But Haaland should be fit to play, ready to perform more for Manchester City in the league. Everton at home is not an ideal fixture, but it's still a decent fixture. He's been decent against them in the past, and I don't think Jarrad Branthwaite is going to be back for that fixture either. So I think that's going to be some goals potentially for Man City and Haaland in this game. So I think he's still the best captaincy option this game week. That's why I've gone with him and not someone else that I had as a potential other captaincy option. But Haaland is just a no-brainer still, even though the fixtures aren't the best in the next few game weeks. They also have Newcastle away after these 4 fixtures. He is still just in tremendous form, and there's really no reason to go without him currently in FPL. So yeah, he is certainly someone that I would want to have in my squad. So he's number one pick. Number 2, we have Semenyo, also the same as last week. At Haaland and Semenyo, number 1 and number 2. These have been the 2 best performing players so far this season. Semenyo has that really nice Nottingham Forest at home fixture in Game Week 9, which is really, really nice. Crystal Palace away is pretty tough, but we've seen Crystal Palace concede a goal here and there in most games, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's Semenyo scoring that goal, because he finds new ways to score every single game week, it seems like. This past game week 7, he had 2 goals, 1 assist, 18-pointer from Semenyo. He's just fantastic, and there's really no reason to go without him, despite some of the fixtures being tough now in the immediate future. But he also has that nice Game Week 9 fixture, like I mentioned, against Nottingham Forest. But he's just too good. He's presumably still on penalties, even with Kluivert on the pitch. Took a free kick rather than Kluivert previously with Bournemouth and scored that as well. So yeah, he just has so many routes to points, even has gotten some DEFCON points as well, Semenyo. So he's just a fantastic pick all around and comes in at number 2. Number 3, same as last week again, or last game week again, with Gabriel Magalhaes in the Arsenal defense. But I can actually bring up the number 4 guy as well, another Arsenal defender in Gabriel and Timber. He was really close to actually being higher up in the rankings for me than Gabriel this game week. But I think double up in Arsenal defense is the way to go on a wildcard. I think they are just more secure for points. I also think they have some slightly tough-ish matches in terms of scoring goals, at least, against Fulham and Crystal Palace, where I think it's more likely to have this 1-0, 2-0 type of games. And then the super games against Burnley and Sunderland come after that, where I might potentially look into having double Arsenal attack if I was wildcarding around that point of time, basically. But Timber close to pipping Gabriel for the number 3 spot in this rank, just because he has been so good going forward. He won a penalty last game. He had a shot in the box. He's had several shots in the box this season. He's just constantly in really good positions, even from set pieces as well, where you do expect Gabriel to get more goals than Timber. Timber actually has more goals so far, because against Leeds in Game Week 2, he just went absolutely mad and got 24 points, Timber. He's super good in the box, despite not having the same physical presence as Gabriel. He's really good at getting into the right positions, and he goes a bit more undercover than Gabriel as well in those situations. And Timber is also better in terms of open play threat, both from assists and goals, than Gabriel, and he is a cheaper price. So there's plenty of reasons to go with Timber. There is still that slight doubt about his playing time potentially, but I think that's just a load of bollocks, really. I think he's going to play 7 out of 8 games for Arsenal at the very least. Maybe more than that, maybe 9 out of 10 games. It seems like he's getting rested in the Champions League games, which is perfect. So yeah, Timber is just a fantastic player all around. Gabriel is also a fantastic player all around. They have such a high clean sheet potential each and every game week. They have such a high goal scoring potential each and every game week as well, and bonus as well can come with that. We've even seen them flirt with DEFCON points. We've seen Gabriel actually gotten 6 DEFCON points so far, I think. So he is also fantastic all around. So yeah, Gabriel slightly ahead of Timber, but both of them I think are the main guys to have from the Arsenal defense, which I've said for a long time now. Even in my wildcard drafts back in Game Week 5 and 6, I think I had Timber rather than Raya, when most people went with Raya in goal, because Timber, it just has that much higher upside. So yeah, Gabriel and Timber makes their way into the squad as number 3 and number 4. Number 5, we have Ismaila Sarr, up from number 12 last time. He doesn't have the two best fixtures now against Bournemouth at home and Arsenal away. Bournemouth at home isn't the worst in terms of scoring goals, so I'm currently considering bringing him in for this game week. But I could also potentially wait for the game week against Brentford. In that run from game week 10 to game week 16 is the perfect time to have Ismaila Sarr, potentially even Mateta as well as Sarr. Because Palace have looked really good so far, and they have some really nice fixtures there before Sarr goes to the African Cup of Nations in game week 16, potentially game week 16 or 17, depending on when he travels, basically. But he's such a good player. He's been so involved in everything Palace have done this season. He's also been a lot more efficient than Mateta and has just been tremendous. If he had played those two easy matches that he had in game week 4 and game week 5 when he was injured, I think he would have been a no-brainer pick for most people in every draft. And I think he is now as well. Like, most people are looking to bring him in or have him in the wildcard squad already. And I'm no different. I think he is a perfectly fantastic pick to have in FPL, despite the fixtures not being ideal for the next two. Like with free transfers, I might save it for game week 10, but I think game week 8 is still a pretty good entry point. Bournemouth at home is a team that he can score against. So yeah, he's a fantastic player. Comes in at number 5. Number 6, we have Senesi still in the defense for Bournemouth. Again, the fixtures like Semenyo's aren't the best, especially for a defender. Palace and Man City and even Aston Villa away. 3 out of the next 4 are away fixtures. It's not ideal. Also facing Nottingham Forest to have at least an attacking manager for now in Ange Postecoglou. But I think that's a decent game as well. But Senesi just has those DEFCON points on lock. He's also someone that you want long term because he has shown to be a fantastic option this season. He's basically just nailed on for DEFCON points, even more so than Tarkowski, it seems like almost. And Tarkowski is 0.5 more and plays for a worse defensive team currently as it stands. So I think Senesi is just way better value than Tarkowski and most other defenders for that matter, because he can get assists. He's gotten 2 assists so far this season. He can get goals as well. We saw 2 seasons back from now. He got a lot of goals and assists, and Bournemouth are looking better than they did back in the day as well. So Senesi is just still a fantastic pick, still someone that I would have no doubts about having in the wildcard draft, despite some tougher fixtures now in the next few game weeks, but they will get better as well eventually. So yeah, Senesi comes in at number 6. Number 7, we have Bukayo Saka. We have changed the Arsenal attacker since last time. Saka is new, as you can see. He has a green name, which means he is new since the last draft. That's basically down to the fact that he took a penalty last time around with both him and Gyökeres on the pitch. And Saka just an easy replacement for Gyökeres in general. He's also more involved in play and has just been a better performing player so far this season. I still think Gyökeres is a good option, but Saka is just worth it for the potential penalties. I still think it's going to be split a little bit. I think I said in a previous video, I think Saka will take 3 out of 5 penalties potentially. He'll probably give Gyökeres some of the penalties sometimes, but he is still the main penalty taker and this final say for who takes the penalty for Arsenal. So yeah, Saka just a really good asset in general. Arsenal have really good fixtures. The first 2 aren't ideal, but still you would expect Arsenal to score a couple goals against Fulham and Palace, and Saka could be the main beneficiary from those goals. So yeah, he comes in at number 7. Simple choice really. Arsenal have just really good fixtures for a long while really, and they have, yeah, they're just the best team in the Premier League right now. So you want to be tripled up on them with those really nice fixtures, especially from game week 10 onwards against Burnley and Sunderland there. Next up, we have Jared Bowen with the number 8 pick. He's gone up in the rankings since last time because he is now done with a tough game this past game week. He now has Brentford at home, Leeds away, Newcastle at home, and Burnley at home. I've seen people suggest that Brentford at home and Burnley at home are not like ideal fixtures. So I've seen people say like they are not like the best potential fixtures, and for me, I think there are like 2 of the best like top 5 fixtures you want to have for a player. So the next 4 game weeks, he has 2 of those. He only gets to face them at home once every season. So yeah, take your chance now at Bowen, I think, on a wildcard especially. I think he's going to be really good. I've had him since game week 1 myself, and he's been like the 4th highest performing forward so far this season because he is just always that good. He is such a high quality player. He was brought on for England and got an assist as well. So he just looks good all around. He is just, a guarantee for FPL points really, because he's gotten like 170 plus points in 3 out of the last 4 seasons, or even 4 out of the last 5 almost. It's going to be after this season as well, because he is just fantastic for West Ham. He might play up front, which is like I'm not quite sure if that's better or worse for him. I think it's kind of equal. But he is still just someone that's going to score goals. People are upset that he's a forward, but that also helps him in terms of bonus. He's had 3 games so far this season where he scored 1 goal, and he's gotten 3 bonus points every single time, because you get more bonus points for a goal than you do, or you get like more bonus points, system points, which leads to more bonus points if you score a goal as a forward than as a midfielder or especially as a defender. So yeah, Bowen is a fantastic pick with some really great fixtures, and this is the jumping on point. Brentford at home is a really good fixture. They've played 3 really bad teams away from home this season, Brentford, and they've lost all 3 by conceding 2 or 3 goals against Fulham, Sunderland, and another team, Nottingham Forest. So yeah, that is a really good fixture and a really good jumping on point for Bowen at number 8 for my wildcard draft. Number 9, we have João Pedro as well. I got my 2 pretty good strikers to go along with the rest of the squad because I haven't picked another really expensive midfielder apart from Saka, so I do have some money left in the bank for some good value options up front. And João Pedro, I think, is just the best Chelsea asset currently, with Enzo still like a slight injury doubt. We don't really know if he's going to be ready for Game Week 8, which is the ideal fixture against Nottingham Forest away. Which could be really, really good for João Pedro. I think that's also a really good jumping on point for João Pedro if you don't have him. For me, I have Gyökeres in my own team. I'm not going to go to João Pedro myself because I still think Gyökeres is decent enough. But if you have like a really struggling forward, if you have Watkins, for example, I think João Pedro is like my second favorite option behind Bowen. And of course, Haaland if you don't have Haaland already, but I assume you do. So yeah, João Pedro, a really good player in general for Chelsea, or like he plays for a really good team. He plays as the number 9. He gets like close to 90 minutes. He is going to be in good attacking positions. So yes, he hasn't had that many shots lately, but I think he has a decent chance of getting some points this season still because he has that potential. We've seen it in the past. He's very explosive as well. If he scores in one game, he might score in the next few games as well. So we'll see what happens to João Pedro. I'm a bit wary of him being a bit streaky. He's gotten most of his point returns so far this season from corners and stuff. But I think he has the quality, and Chelsea have the quality and the fixtures for him to be a good pick. So he comes in at number 9 as well. Number 10, we have Richards from Crystal Palace in defense, and I've been like a bit back and forth with who to pick from the Crystal Palace defense, but I think Richards is just the best pick because of his price, especially with the fixtures not being ideal either for the next few game weeks in terms of a defender at least. I think just having a cheaper option for now is good. You might want to double up with Munoz. That is a decision you have to do. So you have Sarr and Richards already in the wildcard draft with this draft, but then in Game Week 10, you can bring in Munoz on top of Richards potentially if you want to double up on that Palace defense, or you can go with Mateta as well up front to triple up on Palace in that way. So yeah, Richards, I think just for the cheap price, for the DEFCON potential, for some goal scoring potential as well. He takes long throw-ins, which could be assists sometimes. He's in the box for corners and can score from that. We've seen that in the past. I saw that live last season at the City Stadium or Etihad. So he has like some goal potential as well. You could make a case for Guehi, who's 0.4, I think, more, but I think just like that price difference is just a bit too much. But Guehi has looked fantastic in terms of scoring goals and getting assists this season. So maybe that's something that is sustainable. I don't know. Maybe he stepped up a level in that regard. But I think Richards has like not too far away from the same goal potential, and he also has better DEFCON potential and is just cheaper. So yeah, I prefer Richards for 4.5, especially with some slightly tougher fixtures now immediately. So yeah, he comes in at number 10. Number 11, we have Nick Pope in goal for Newcastle. The fixtures are just really good for Newcastle in general. Nick Pope has been so solid this whole season. Newcastle, with really tough fixtures, have kept so many clean sheets, and they just look like a really good team. I think they have the chance to explode now and be a really good team going forward. Pope is just a safe option. He is 5.1 defensively, not too much for a goalkeeper either. And with the fixtures coming up, he's going to get some more clean sheets, and he seems pretty nailed now. That's always been like my hesitancy with Pope and including him in the team, but it seems like he's just like pretty clearly first choice for Newcastle now, and we have a really good backup goalkeeper in case he has been dropped as well eventually, or in case he gets dropped at some point this season. So yeah, Pope comes in at number 11 just because Newcastle, you really want to have a Newcastle defender. Currently, I don't think there's enough value in their centre-backs or like fullbacks to go for them. Because I don't think they get that many points in terms of DEFCON points and stuff like that, or potential goals and assists. So I think Pope is a safer option in goal, at least for now, at number 11. Number 12, we have Enzo Fernandez from Chelsea, and he would have been higher up if it wasn't for the injury doubt. He was withdrawn from the Argentina squad with some inflammation in his right knee, I think. So the injury issues is like a slight concern, but he has been so good in the absence of Palmer. And it seems like Palmer's going to be out for a little while now. A couple game weeks at least. Whenever he doesn't play, Enzo gets in super high positions and has had, I think, 3 games so far this season out of the 7 where he's had more than 1 expected goal moment in those 3 games. So yeah, he's gotten a lot of point returns as well. It's not just on paper, it is also on grass. He gets points. So he's just been a really fantastic player, playing in a pretty offensive position. Even when Palmer comes back, I think he's still a pretty good like 3rd Chelsea option potentially. Or if you want to drop down João Pedro eventually, I think Enzo's still going to be a good 2nd option if you want to have Palmer and Enzo at some point eventually. But for now, the fixtures are really good. Nottingham Forest away, Sunderland at home, Spurs away is not the best, but then they have Wolves at home after that as well. So just really good fixtures all around for Enzo Fernandez. So he comes in at number 12. Number 13, we have Dubravka. I did say we have a pretty good backup goalkeeper in case Pope loses his place. I don't think that's going to happen, but if we don't get Pope, we do have Dubravka, especially for the next few game weeks. He's going to have some pretty nice matches. That's why I'm not too fussed about selling my starting goalkeeper myself, because I feel like starting Dubravka against Leeds and Wolves isn't the worst thing in the world. But yeah, Dubravka is basically just in the team because he is the starting goalkeeper at 4.0 that's or the only 4.0 goalkeeper that starts regularly. So he's been pretty much a no-brainer this whole season for my Wildcard drafts, because he is just the cheapest, nicest entry for a really cheap goalkeeper to have. That was a stupid sentence, but you get what I mean anyways. So yeah, he comes in at number 13. Number 14, we have Rodon now in defense for Leeds. I've switched my Leeds defender from Goodmanson to Rodon, because Rodon just seems to keep getting goals and getting chances. I think he was really close to scoring in the last league game in Game Week 7, if I remember correctly. And then he scored for Wales in the international break as well. So like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what has gotten into him, but he is in super goal-scoring form, Rodon. So for that reason, I just think there's a pretty good high upside there. You'll see the fixtures there for Leeds are really, really good. Burnley away, West Ham at home, Brighton away, Nottingham Forest away. Like, those are really nice fixtures. Some of them are, like, a lot of them are away fixtures, and they haven't been as good away from home as they have been at home at Ellen Road this season, but I still think they are really nice fixtures to target, especially for someone as cheap as Rodon. You can't really go wrong at that price at 4.1. So yeah, he comes in at number 14, but he's mostly going to be a backup despite the good fixtures, I think, because we have a pretty good defense. But for this game, for example, I think he's lost in nicely. Burnley away, I think he's better than both Senesi and Richards against each other, with Palace playing against Bournemouth. So I think he works a treat for that game week. You could even start him potentially in the next game week, depending on who you have in midfield. You could bench Sarr, for example, and start Rodon. So yeah, he's also a good option for that reason. So yeah, he comes in at number 14, just a cheap guy to have in case of emergency, or in some game weeks where you have, yeah, like I said, emergency. If you have tough fixtures, he is someone that you could play and could get you both DEFCON points, could get you a goal as he's shown this season, and could get you a clean sheet as well, because Leeds have been pretty solid so far in general. Number 15 is Dewsbury-Hall still. I think he's still my favorite 5.0 midfielder. Yes, he's only gotten a point return in 1 game so far out of the 7 game weeks. He was suspended this past game week, and now he has Man City, so he's not the ideal player to have like immediately, but he's also just someone that is nice to stash for future reference. I think once Everton's fixtures get better, he's a really nice complementary piece to whatever you want from NGI or Grealish or Tarkowski, for example. Dewsbury-Hall is still going to play in the number 10 role for Everton, and I think that's going to involve a lot more points eventually. I think he's been a bit unlucky. He's been in really good positions for so many games this season, but it just hasn't fallen to him perfectly, and he's also been a bit unlucky when it comes to yellow cards and a suspension this past game week. So yeah, Dewsbury-Hall I still think is a really solid pick for 5.0. I think there's like, people are going for Saka, they're going for Stach, they're going for like every new in vogue type of DEFCON midfielder, but I think Dewsbury-Hall just has higher upside as an attacking midfielder. I think he's going to be really good eventually this season for an Everton team that are really good offensively. So yeah, Dewsbury-Hall comes in at number 15 and completes the squad. As you can see, Dewsbury-Hall is also a new player. He has a green name alongside Dewsbury-Hall, João Pedro, Enzo, Saka, Rodon, and Pope. That's 6 new players since last time. That means 6 players have dropped out since last time as well. So let's talk about those 6 players before we go and talk about 3 players that were close to making the squad but didn't for one reason or another. First and foremost, the first guy to drop out, or the highest ranked guy from last time around who has dropped out, is Gyökeres. He was ranked at number 5 last time because I thought he was going to be on penalties. He also had West Ham at home in that game week. Now he's done with one of his easier fixtures, and he's not the penalty taker, or at least not the preferred penalty taker for Arsenal. So he drops out in place of Saka. But I think like I would potentially have him as the 4th Arsenal option if I could have 4 Arsenal players. But Saka just seems like a better option currently, so Gyökeres has to make way. But I don't really feel too like fussed about selling Gyökeres to bring in Saka myself in my own team. I have Gyökeres. I'm fine with him. He keeps getting chances. He's going to score eventually. I think he could explode and be a really good player to have. But currently, I just have a little bit more faith in Saka, so I've gone with that player instead. Anthony Gordon disappointed me a bit last game week. He blanked, got subbed off pretty early. So I'm not sure if I can trust him. He is the penalty taker for Newcastle, so he looked really good going into last game week after scoring 2 penalties in the Champions League. But with the minutes and like a bunch of wingers that they have at Newcastle now, and also just the formation changes they keep doing, I think it's pretty tough to nail him on as a starting player for Newcastle, or at least like a 90-minute player for Newcastle. So I just don't have enough faith in him to have him in my team currently. But Newcastle have really good fixtures. At least pretty soon, they're going to have really good fixtures. West Ham at home in Game Week 10 onwards, they're going to have, it's going to be a good entry point. So, yeah, Gordon came in at number 6 last time, but he's dropped out just because he was subbed off early, and I don't really trust his minutes going forward. Petrovic, he's just made away for Pope. I think Pope is just a better goalkeeper with better fixtures currently, but Petrovic is still a really cheap goalkeeper that I think is going to be really good eventually. Like, for the entirety of the season, I would probably go with Petrovic, but for now, I think Pope is the more secure and good option when it comes to clean sheet potential. Tijani Reinders, also unlucky to miss out. I don't have any money in the bank for this team. As you can see, the team value is 100.8, so you might not even be able to afford it. But yeah, so Reinders had to make way for Dewsbury-Hall. Couldn't afford Reinders, but also the fixtures for Man City aren't the best now, and Reinders still hasn't gotten that many point returns this season. He got 10 points in the first game week. He got 9 points in game week 4 or 5? 5, 6, I don't remember. Against Arsenal, anyways, he got 9 points. Apart from that, he's blanked every single game week, but he still looks really good, still gets in really good positions, so I have no worries about selling him immediately myself, especially with Everton, Aston Villa in the next 2. That's not the worst fixtures, Everton at home and Aston Villa away. But after that, against Bournemouth, Liverpool and Newcastle, I might sell him personally because I have the wildcard and I can bring him back for game week 13. But from game week 13 onwards, I think it's going to be fantastic as well. So if you already use your wildcard, or if you're using your wildcard now, I would sort of get why you would have him in the team, but I don't think he's someone that you need to bring in currently. But if you have value tied into him and you are wildcarding this week, maybe keep that value and keep him in your squad and find another way of downgrading potentially Enzo to Reinders. You could do that as well, because Reinders is playing for Man City, which is a really good team, and he just keeps finding himself in good positions for that team as well. Jaden Anthony from Burnley. They have really good fixtures, as you can see from Dubravka there. Leeds at home, Wolves away. Arsenal at home is not the best, but then West Ham away after that. They have good fixtures. Anthony has been in fantastic form this season. I keep saying Anthony. Jaden Anthony has been in fantastic form, but I'm not sure if it's sustainable. Like, he's been in and around the Premier League for a while now and hasn't really taken that next step. Maybe he has done this season, but I don't really trust Burnley players as well. I don't think they're a good team, so yeah, I'm just going away with him because I have other good options in midfield this game week. I feel like Saka and Enzo are really nice options to have if Enzo is fit, that is. So yeah, Jaden Anthony has dropped out since last time as well. And finally, Goodmanson, just replacing with Rodon, like I said, just because of Rodon just being in his life, in his best goal scoring form of his life, it seems like. So Rodon has replaced Goodmanson despite being 0.1 more expensive, but I think it's worth it for the added goal threat. But Goodmanson is also better for bonus points usually if they both get a clean sheet only. I would expect Goodmanson to get a clean sheet or bonus points, so he's still a good option, but Rodon just makes it over him in this case because they have some good fixtures and they can get some goals, and Rodon has been the better goal scorer so far this season. So yeah, those are the players that have dropped out. Finally, let's wrap up the video with the 3 players on the cusp that didn't make the squad. 1 defender, 1 midfielder, and 1 forward as always. The defender that did make it was El Hadji Malik Diouf, who I have currently in my own team. Was close to bringing him in the Walker team as well. If you have the 0.4 extra, you could upgrade Rodon to Diouf and have another really nice option there. You could go with him rather than Richards as well, but I think Richards is just safer long term, especially if you're wildcarding and you can't sell Diouf after these next 4 game weeks. I would sort of get why you would go without him, but I think he's like a really nice option. I think West Ham options are sort of undervalued in general. Paquetá, Somerville, Diouf, and Bowen are all really good options, I think. And Diouf especially has gotten so many assists this season. He might play as a wing back now, so I think I might be making a mistake not having him in the wildcard squad, but at least I'll have him in my own squad for these next 4 game weeks, and then I'll wildcard him out myself. So I'm really happy with that tactic personally. But yeah, Diouf is really close to making it. He's a really good player. Eze is also a cheaper alternative to Saka if you want to bring in someone like Salah alongside the rest of the team here. I have a different option. I will try to go through it later on in the video. But Eze has just been really good. Martin Ødegaard is back or is out now for the next 4 game weeks, at least until the next international break or after the next international break. And with the fixtures that they have, especially against Burnley and Sunderland, Eze could be really, really good. He's been so close to scoring. It's been just some really good goalkeeper. The goalkeeper. What's the word I'm looking for? Some good goalkeeper. I can't find the word now. But some good goalkeepers have stood in his way, basically. So Eze has gotten less points than what he should have had, but he's just been really good for Arsenal. He got the assist as well against City. He's been close to scoring a couple times, and I think it's coming pretty soon because he is just a fantastic player and he plays for Arsenal. And he's going to have the playing time also unlocked now with Ødegaard being out. He is the talisman that they need offensively, and he could be a really good option. I just prefer Saka as well. Like I mentioned, you can have so many Arsenal players in this team because they have such good fixtures. As they probably would have made it if I had the choice to have 4 Arsenal players, but yeah, he couldn't make it. But he could be a downgrade from Saka if you want some extra money to spend elsewhere. I don't think it's too much in between them, but Saka has the penalties. He also has the more secure playing time long term as well. So I do prefer Saka, but I do think Eze is a good option for a bit cheaper in that Arsenal midfield. Then finally, Calvert-Lewin. He's been one of the most talked about players this past game week. And like judging from the fixtures, of course, that's why people are bringing him in, or looking to bring him in. Burnley away, West Ham at home, Brighton away, Nottingham Forest away. Like those are some of the best offensive fixtures in the league. So if you want to save money, even more money, if you want to have Salah, for example, Calvert-Lewin could be a really good option up front. He does miss a lot of chances, but at least he gets the big chances. And he has scored, 11 points like a couple game weeks back. He has the potential to get some points as well. I think he's also going to be the penalty taker for Leeds. We've seen Leeds have 1 penalty so far this season, and Nemecha took it. And he's not going to start mostly. And I think Calvert-Lewin is still someone that is going to be preferred on penalties. Maybe it's not the best idea because he keeps missing big chances, but eventually he's going to score some big chances. I think he was really unlucky to not score this past game week. He had actually some good finishes, but some really good, again, goalkeepers in his way and some bad deflections that didn't help him out in those instances. So I think the points are potentially coming for Calvert-Lewin, and I do understand why people would go for him, especially on a wildcard. But I think Bowen and João Pedro just have too good value to have Calvert-Lewin currently myself. But if you want to bring in Salah, for example, you could do Saka to Salah, or Saka to Eze for that matter, and then upgrade Enzo to Salah. If you do Bowen to Calvert-Lewin and João Pedro, or Bowen to Marshall from West Ham, and for like a really cheap price, and Calvert-Lewin to or João Pedro to Gabriel, I think that would be enough to get Salah into your team with this team value. So if you want to go with Salah, I do get it. I haven't listed any Liverpool players in either category here, not in the team, not in the drop players, not in the on the cusp section. But I do think both Salah and Isak are potentially good picks. Isak just hasn't looked that good for Sweden as well the past 2 games. That's what put me off myself as well. He just doesn't look like himself currently. And Salah hasn't looked like himself all season either. But I do think they have the chance to explode against Man United at home. So I do quite get if you want to go for one of those players. Gakpo as well. I think he's the 3rd best potential option there. Szoboszlai is someone that is like a sneaky good pick potentially, but he doesn't have as high goal potential usually. So there are some good Liverpool options if you want to go that way. But yeah, I just don't trust Liverpool enough currently with the recent results in mind. Just their players being out of form, but they do have some good players. Salah especially is someone that I would look to have in my team because he usually scores a lot of goals against Man United. So yeah, I would probably, as you'll see with the free hit selection that I have on Friday, you'll probably see me captaining Salah with the projected free hit squad that I would have selected if I had a free hit this game week. So yeah, he's a really good option, especially for this game week against Man United at home. But I just couldn't find the money available to, like, I think it's just too much of a sacrifice. Saka to Eze, Bowen to Marshall, which is like basically just deleting a spot from your team, and João Pedro to Calvert-Lewin. I just like that. Don't think that's good enough for me to go with Salah currently in my draft, but he is in consideration as well. But yeah, I think that wraps it up basically. 15-man squad, pretty template squad, but I also selected this squad pretty early on before everyone else picked them, and I have been on the case when it comes to just like chasing Paw Patrol. That's a really bad reference, but I have sort of been on point when it comes to Timber, especially. Sarr is someone that I talked about earlier as well. I've been pretty like on top of things when it comes to these players already, so I don't feel like I'm copying anyone either because I have talked about these players and the potential quite extensively in the past. So yeah, I think the team is looking pretty solid. I think it's a pretty solid game week 2 wildcard as well, and especially if you have a lot of Aston Villa and Man United assets, for example. I've talked about this in the video previously, so you can check that out as well. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up as well. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. And like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. Bye-bye. See ya.